Welcome to BattleBots at Home, the ultimate place for non-stop robot fighting action. And today is a special day as we have the return of so many dangerous fan favorite bots. We have a nice mix of bots new and old. We have veterans such as Magnitude, Slick, and Grappler. We also have newer bots in the form of Paradox, Esper, and Rusty hoping to make a name for themselves. And as for our main event, the most powerful crusher in the game, 87, will go up against the Season 1 champion, Bite Force. But in our first fight of the night, we have the powerful hammer of Blacksmith going against the dual disc spinner of Rotator. Let's get into that amazing fight right now.
Three, two, one. Let the bot battle begin. Blacksmith goes right into the face of Rotator. A piece of Rotator goes flying away. Those twin discs spun up the speed, very dangerous. Blacksmith, a hit and a miss right there. Squaring now, spinning around. Speaking of spinning, Rotator of those spinning discs. Blacksmith getting hammered by the polarizer. Makes some driving mistakes. That's not good. They'll have to be better. Ooh, good collision there. Rotator just showing what those discs can do. Blacksmith to try to keep that wedge pointed. They don't want. Oh, huge slam there. Just froze Rotator up into the air. That was a good attack by Blacksmith. Just like a truck. If they keep that wedge pointed towards Rotator, they should be able to win this. But Rotator, one good hit to the side or the back could do serious damage. Oh, another good slam right off the front of the wedge. Blacksmith just getting their bearings straight, lining up, getting a few small hits. Their hammer definitely is not as powerful as the spinners of Rotator, but still getting some nice points just with all those many attacks. Rotator trying to get out of there, get away from the front of Blacksmith, but Blacksmith pushes them into the corner, a few nice hammer swings, and another. Blacksmith is not afraid of those spinning discs. Rotator getting thrown over to the side of the wall. Another good attack there. This is a good fight so far. Rotator hits the wedge of Blacksmith once again. Rotator, they need to battle back here as they ride the wedge of Blacksmith. Oh, it would seem that Rotator's disc has caught the wall and now their wheels are off the ground. And I think that's going to be it. They can't move. Their wheels are not touching the ground. The countdown has begun. They can't get out of there. And Blacksmith is going to take the victory today. Talk about a bot that flip-flops. Rotator doing damage to itself, getting slammed by Blacksmith. Blacksmith, they really won this fight less because of their hammer and more because of that wedge. That wedge was good at deflecting the spinners of Rotator, and eventually they got him right where he wanted to be. Rotator eventually rode up the wedge of Blacksmith. They got stuck on the wall, and they were not going anywhere. A good win for Blacksmith.
Here to give you a big hug, it's Length. Length initially didn't qualify for the competition, but after getting a good win in the pre-qualifiers, they're here to grab any opponent that gets in their way. Length's first opponent is the dangerous full-body spinner named Unintended Consequences. Let's see how that fight goes.
Three, two, one. Let the bot battle begin. Unintended Consequences immediately getting a good hit on Length, but Length gets a good grab immediately. They're not afraid as they slam Unintended Consequences into the wall. Unintended Consequences gets a good revenge attack. Length just getting into the face of danger again and again, getting another good grab. Those giant grabbing arms just really good at controlling opponents like they're doing right now as they feed Unintended Consequences into the screwed, but they get out of there. Ooh, good hit by Unintended Consequences, and they do damage to the claws. Yeah, they've broken off a piece of the grabbing claws. Good attack by Unintended Consequences, but Length gets some revenge as they push them into the pulverizer. Here comes the hammer onto the top of Unintended Consequences, winning some control points right then and there. But Unintended Consequences gets another good attack, but Length just isn't afraid. They've taken some damage, but they're still good to go for more attacks. As Unintended Consequences gets a good hit right there. It's a little bit harder for Length to grab their opponent now that one of their grabbing claws has been broken off, though. Oh, good hit there, and another good hit. Throws across Length. Length really needs to be careful here. Unintended consequences. Oh, never mind. As they get underneath unintended consequences, has to be careful. They get flipped over. They can't self-right. And Length, despite being a grappler, could do that. Unintended consequences bounces off the walls and hit a good side of Length. Unintended consequence. Ooh, another. Oh, a huge piece of unintended consequences goes flying, and they're upside down and on the screws. And in the blink of an eye, this fight has turned upside down, just like unintended consequences has. They're stuck on the screws. They can't get down. And just like that, despite taking some damage, Length will be getting an impressive victory. Unintended consequences collided with Death, and that Death's name was Length. I don't know what I'm talking about. Seriously, this was a good fight. Length getting some good grabs. They weren't afraid of unintended consequences. Even though maybe they should have been, unintended consequences did do some damage. They got some good hits, but in the end, they just weren't able to KO the bot for good, and they paid the price. Unintended consequences pushed onto the screws, upside down, broken, nowhere to go. They start the season off with a pretty bad loss.
In our next fight, we have the vicious vertical spinner of Magnitude going up against a unique control bot known as Paradox. Which of these two bots will get the win? Let's find out now.
Three, two, one. Let the bot battle begin. The vertical spin of Magnitude. Oh, getting slammed into the wall by Paradox. Paradox loses a piece of their grappling arm, but it's not that bad, as it's still able to grab Magnitude as they prove right now. Getting a good grab on Magnitude. Magnitude not sure what to do as they get out of there, but only to get grabbed once again. Paradox, a newer robot, but a pretty good control bot, as you see it, as they just grind Magnitude against the screws and into the wall. Magnitude needs to get out of there right now. A piece of someone comes off. Not entirely sure. Magnitude, they do have enough torque in their weapon to self-right, but it takes a while. And now they're getting hit by the pulverizer to make matters worse. And Paradox is already on top in this fight. Paradox really showing what they can do. Oh, as they put Magnitude into another pulverizer. And Magnitude is just getting humiliated right now. They need to get out of there right now and get some good hits in them, but Paradox isn't going to let them do that. Magnitude just gets put into the screws, and I think they're stuck. And unfortunately, I think that's going to be it for Magnitude. They can't get out of the screws, and Paradox has won this fight in pretty convincing fashion, really showing what they can do. This is a bot to watch. Despite being a very deadly bot, Magnitude just wasn't able to show any of that in this fight. Paradox never gave him a chance to do anything. Paradox just kept grabbing them every chance they got. They went head to head, and Magnitude was just Paradox's plaything. Hit by the hazards, hit by both pulverizers, and eventually got sucked right into the screws. Paradox showing who the boss is.
In this next fight, we have Slick, a hammerbot known for smashing its opponents into submission. They're going up against a flipper named Esper. They competed in the New Blood Special a while back, but Slick will be their first real test. Let's head down to the box right now.
Three, two, one. Let the bot battle begin. Esper, a really nice looking flipper, and they get a good flip on Slick. Slick thrown across the box, getting pounded by the flipper of Esper. Slick having trouble self-riding on their side. Esper really showing the aggression. Slick gets a good hit. A piece of Esper goes flying. Oh, and the flipper goes flying as well. Esper is now weaponless and defenseless against the hammer of Slick. Slick really showing them what pain is as they slam right in. Oh, but Slick has lost their hammer and both bots are now weaponless, but it doesn't matter as Esper's just been pushed over. They're on their back and without their flipper they can't self-right. Slick was in trouble there, but they're going to get the victory.
2, 1.
Well, that was quick and also very violent. Now, Esper did get a few good flips at the beginning. It was pretty impressive, got underneath Slick almost immediately, and was just really aggressive from there, getting several good flips, really showing them what they can do despite being a newer bot. But eventually Slick brought down the hammer and showed the pain, and Esper's weapon went away, and in the end they got a major headache.
Now that we're halfway through the episode, it's time to take a look at our very special main event. Season 1 champion Byforce faces off against the most powerful crusher ever built, 87. Who's going to take the victory? Let's take a look at that matchup right now.
Up next, we have Never Saw It Coming taking on Smasher. Let's not waste any time and get into the fight right now.
Three, two, one. Let the bot battle begin. Smasher getting a good hit on Never Saw It Coming. Oh my goodness! Never Saw It Coming has just been obliterated, and just like that, the fight's over. I'm not sure why we're even bothering with a countdown, but Never Saw It Coming has just been split into several pieces, completely destroyed. Smasher living up to its name and just smashing the competition with relative ease. The other bots really should be scared of Smasher after seeing this fight. Just obliterated their opponent in one massive hit. Never saw it coming. Truly never saw that coming. Just smashed into pieces. Not much else to say. They are down for the count. It was really funny. And Smasher smashing.
Next up, we have the lovable junkyard bot, Rusty, going up against the well-driven control bot known as Grappler. How will Rusty do against a top-tier control bot like Grappler? Let's find out now.
Three, two, one. Let the bot battle begin. Rusty immediately attacking Grappler. Grappler getting underneath Rusty, getting a good grab, kind of. Rusty is a pretty odd shape. Rusty does have good traction with those treads. It uses treads. But those treads aren't helpless. They're getting pushed into the screws. A piece comes off. Grappler getting behind Rusty. Rusty getting hit with the polarizer. It's a good thing they have a helmet with a little popcorn bowl. Grappler really showing no mercy right now. They're a pretty good control bot. A really top tier bot we've seen. They've gotten some good wins in the past. Rusty, though, getting some good hits with that hammer. They're not doing much damage, but they are scoring points with the judges, so that's good. Oh, but that also scores points as Grappler slams Rusty into the wall. Into the screws, I mean. And a piece of Rusty gets stuck in the screws. Rusty just getting grabbed again. Now, Rusty does not have any ground game. Rusty does not have a wedge, so it's easier for Grappler to get underneath him. Oh, and Rusty on the sidewall, very nearly out of the arena, getting right in the face of the camera. Grappler grabbing Rusty from behind. Rusty just getting bullied around and getting hit in the head once again. I hope Rusty doesn't get brain damage. Rusty just getting taken for a ride. Oh, the bots might actually be a little bit stuck together. Could we need an unstick? Oh, never mind. Grappler does it for us, but in the process flips Rusty onto their side. And I don't think Rusty can self-right from that angle. It's very unfortunate. Rusty really just trying to get back onto their treads, but I don't think they can. They're swinging that axe around again and again, but that's not good movement. They can't get onto their treads. They're stuck on their side, and that's it for Rusty. Poor Rusty. Grappler gets a good win. Rusty really did try their best. They fought as hard as they could. Rusty never gave up, but Grappler was just the better bot. Rusty just getting controlled everywhere, and eventually Grappler was able to take advantage of their weakness. They were able to get him stuck on their side. They couldn't self-right, and that was going to be it for the Junkyard bot. Goodbye, Rusty. We'll see you next time.
In our penultimate fight of the night, we have the return of Very Violent, a surprise breakout star that made it all the way to the top 8 last season before losing a close fight to Byteforce. In total, the bot has an impressive record of 5 wins and 1 loss. Their opponent is Emergency, a lifter bot with a powerful drive system that has also been very successful in the past. Which one of these two all-star bots will start the season off with a win? Let's find out right now.
Three, two, one.
Let the bot battle begin. Very Violent getting underneath. Emergency. Very Violent's grabbing arm immediately broken off. I don't know how that happened, but Very Violent, that's not their main weapon. Their main weapon are those little arms. I don't even know how to describe them that allow them to move in all sorts of weird directions. Very unique weaponry. Little backflip over Emergency, and now Emergency has lost their weapon as well. These bots falling apart. Despite that, both these bots have been very successful in the past. Emergency getting hit by the hammer while Very Violent just does its little tricks over everything. Very Violent is a very weird bot. We've never seen anything like it, but it's been very successful. Very Violent has a good track record, and they might add another win to that column as they push Emergency into the screws. They're on top of Emergency. Emergency does have a good drive system, as they show right there. They're like a really powerful wedge bot. Their lifter almost always breaks, but they win fights by being a really good ram bot, and they're showing that right now. Unfortunately, it's not enough, and it would seem that a piece of the wall has broken off. The power of these bots have broken our arena. Of course they have. Just goes to show how dangerous these two bots are and what happens when they face against each other. Emergency is unfazed. They still have a very powerful drive system. Very Violent, though, living up to its name, being very violent indeed as they push into Emergency once again. Very Violent, very unpredictable. You never know what they can do as they use those little arms to just do whatever they want to the opponent. Emergency isn't completely helpless, though, or maybe they are as they get pushed into the wall once again. Near that part where the wall was broken, thanks a lot. That's not fun to fix. And they just drive over Very Violent just like that. Pretty good attack then and there. The two bots really in a good tussle. I would say Very Violent is ahead. Especially now as they push Emergency out of the arena, and just like that, the fight is over.
Well, Emergency's out of the arena, but the arena itself got hurt really badly. They damaged it. Thanks a lot.
Well, that was a really fun fight and a good reminder of why Very Violent, despite having such an unorthodox design, is such a deadly opponent. This bot just is like a gymnastic king. Very Violent is indeed, as they just pushed Emergency everywhere they could. And Emergency just didn't know how to deal with something like this. They even broke the box at one point. Emergency got some good rams, but in the end, they were out of their element against this crazy bot.
We've finally reached our long-awaited main event between Byteforce and 87, and this is one fight you do not want to miss. First off is Byteforce, the bot who won it all back in Season 1 and got 4th place last season. This is without a doubt one of the best bots we've ever seen, and there's a good chance it could go far once again.
Then we have 87, a bot who may not have a giant disc, but definitely has the potential to win one. This is a very dangerous Crusher bot who has a reputation for picking its opponents apart piece by piece, and they'll be hoping to do that again today. Now it's time for these two all-star bots to go against each other. Who will start the season off with a statement win? Let's find out right now. Three, two, one. Let the main event begin, Bite Force. Oh, already a piece of Bite Force goes flying. There goes one of their wedgelets as it gets pushed into the polarizer, and already 87's on top, grabbing right on that weapon. They're not afraid at all, but Bite Force retaliates. Still got 3 good wedgelets left, but 87 is good at picking bots apart. Oh, never mind. I guess that applies to Bite Force as well, as they take off one of these side guards, and the other one, the wheels of 87 are now completely exposed. But he's saying it's another good grab, but Bite Force comes back around. They go face to face. Bite Force, getting bitten. Ironically, Bite Force is the one getting bitten by 87. 87 pushes them into the polarizer. 87 really good at controlling their opponents and absorbing damage despite how bad it gets. But Bite Force is a champion for a reason, and they're showing why as they get behind 87. But 87 gets to the side of Bite Force, and they slam them into the wall. It is a good back and forth fight so far. Bite Force winning on damage. Oh, especially there as the entire Crusher of 87 is gone. They get flipped over. The wheels have detached from the body. And unfortunately, I think that's going to be it. Or that is going to be it. 87 has been broken into at least 87 pieces. Bite Force doesn't get out of this unscathed, but they get an amazing win as 87 has been torn apart. Bite Force gets the win in this very special main event. Just look at the carnage. Now that is a main event worth the wait. A good back and forth match with tons of destruction. 87 showing why they're a powerful Crusher, biting right on the weapon of Bite Force, and they could have done major damage. Fortunately, Bite Force's weapon still worked after that, and they used it to good effect as they tore chunks right off of 87. 87's a good control bot, but unfortunately the damage just stacked up. 87 did slam Bite Force around. They got a few good grabs, but like I just said, the damage piled up. They lost their Crusher, they lost a piece of the wedge, they lost their wheels, and eventually they just lost the entire fight. Bite Force taking a bite out of 87. And just like that, another fantastic episode has come to an end. Just to recap, Rotator got rotated by Blacksmith. Unintended Consequences crashed out against Length. Magnitude got grabbed by Paradox. Slick defeated Esper. Smasher destroyed Never Saw It Coming. Rusty got stranded by Grappler. Emergency got pushed out by Very Violent. And in our main event, Bite Force got a very destructive win over 87. As always, we hope you've enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.